sleep isn't a major part of your practice, then you're really, short-sighted in patients. And this isn't just so much about giving them certain things to help them fall asleep. There's certain ways to really help, stimulate your body to work properly and actually go through the correct motions.
You're listening to the Lifestyle Medicine Podcast with Dr. Ivan Rusilko, brought to you by Access Lab, where we explore new perspectives at the forefront of personalized healthcare.
Hey, how's it going? My name's Dr. Ivan Rusilko, and welcome to more. This is the Lifestyle Medicine Podcast powered by Access Medical Labs. If your doctor's not checking labs, he's not a doctor. And we're going to start a very unique series today. It's going to be Sleep Part 1. I have been traveling all over this world. I was in the Middle East, and one of my clinics in Bahrain. And now I'm in Norway, getting ready to go kind of crazy, jump in the water with some orcas. And sleep is one of the most important things I found out very, very personally. It is definitely something that you need to not only function at your maximum, but also basically heal, regenerate, and repair at your best ability. So I'm going to touch on all the different aspects of what sleep is, can be, and should be. And this will be the part 1 series, and they'll get more into the weeds of it on part 2 series. So today we'll go with sleep architecture, the most important parts of it, why do you do it, and different stages. Because sleep isn't just turning, your brain off. It's actually turning your brain on in many other ways. It's not very, very simple. It's very, 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 very complex. So we're going to kind of talk about the different stages of it, how each stage changes throughout your life, how each stage kind of helps your brain do different things, whether it's regenerate, repair, whether it's clean itself, whether it's just kind of consolidating memories and feelings. So it's probably the most important thing when it comes to anything optimization-wise. So I know we're all in the wellness markets. We're looking to get into the wellness markets. We're just looking to learn a little bit more about the wellness market, but there is no such thing as wellness without proper sleep. So first and foremost, let's talk about what sleep is when you start it. So when you close your eyes and you start to kind of turn off, you're in what's called the alpha stage, and your brain works on different frequencies. So the alpha stage is kind of a unique one. This is kind of your brain turning off. The alpha stage is about 8 hertz or so, 8 to 12 hertz. And this is that your brain's full, you turn your eyes off, you turn your brain off, and you kind of get in bed. And it usually lasts about 10 to 15 minutes, depending on who you are, what you are doing, or what you've done within the last 2 hours, or maybe 12 hours, depending on how crazy your lifestyle is. So it's kind of unique. So it starts out in the alpha stage. And just to kind of give an idea, sleep has about anywhere from 4 to 6 cycles throughout the night. Each cycle will last anywhere from 90 to 110 minutes. And the crazy thing is, once you start a cycle, and if you get woken up, whether by a partner, a pet, the TV's on, or something to just get you, out of your actual sleep cycle, you don't restart where you fell asleep. You got to restart again. So you missed that entire cycle that you were trying to get into. The most important thing about that is delta sleep, or the N3 stage, is the most, I'd say, pivotal part of life. I'm 41, and I have slept about 13 and a half years of my life, give or take, sometimes more or less than others. But it is extremely important, but it's the last stage we get into, basically, and it's probably the most difficult to achieve, as we start to see, and you'll learn this overall podcast. So it's kind of unique. So the first stage is the alpha wave, and then you get into N1. N1 is kind of where you start getting into theta. Theta is kind of a very, very unique state as well. So this kind of ranges anywhere from 4 to 8-ish hertz. And this is where you start to consolidate various parts of your body. This is where you do the most pivotal parts, N1 and N2, and they'll lump this together. N2 is where you kind of spend the most part, about 45% of your actual sleep cycle as a whole with that. And it's not unique because in part 2, N2 of this, the N2 sleep stage, is where you have 2 very, very unique things. First is your K complex. Your K complex is kind of the security guard of your sleep system. This is where if something kind of moves in the night, you don't fully wake up. It prevents you from all of a sudden jumping out of bed and be like, holy crap, what is that? Which would throw you all the way back into the beginning stages of sleep. So the K complex is extremely unique, and they're kind of a unique defense mechanism that our brain has to make sure that we can kind of try to stay in sleep as best we can. Then we have the spindle. The spindle mechanism. The spindle mechanism is extremely unique. This is kind of where you have rapid bursts of activity, and this is how you kind of consolidate emotions and feelings with actual memories. So it's really, really cool how your brain works. And these like short bursts, it helps your brain kind of consolidate memories. It pulls from your hippocampus, puts them into your cortex. And it's extremely important for, the consolidation of what, happens throughout the day, and kind of process different memories of how you feel about things, throughout life. And then as you transition to the actual N3, which is your delta stage, which is usually anywhere from 1.5 to 4 hertz, this is your most powerful stage. This is the stage where you rebuild and regenerate and repair your body. It's one of the most pivotal parts of what life is. And this is kind of where I focus a lot of my practice on. My practice focuses on things like hormone optimization, healing, regeneration, repair, hair, skin and nails, fitness, fat loss, sex, energy, beauty. All these things do not exist without delta sleep. And again, like I said, delta sleep is one of the hardest stages of sleep that you get into. There's a lot of unique ways, which we'll talk about in part 2 of this podcast, about how you can kind of help manipulate your body to kind of get there in a much more effective, efficient way. But it is a very pivotal part of sleep. It's kind of a cool thing. We actually optimize delta sleep when we're in our adolescence, when we're very, very, very young. And this is why when it comes to toddlers and things like that, when you go to wake them up, it's just almost like waking up a dead body. They're just swimming in N3 delta sleep. That's because the brain is strong, the body's strong, everything's growing. It's so anabolic. It's extremely important for that stage of where you are in life. As we progress throughout life, this stage starts to diminish, up until once you reach about 60. This is where your body all of a sudden says, we're not really getting too much into this delta sleep anymore. And that starts to, kind of shift your circadian rhythm. Your circadian rhythm is how it is your sleep-wake cycles. It's your hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis. And again, we all have a specific wave with it. We have different hormones that peak at certain times. That's why going to sleep at certain times and going to bed at certain times, it's extremely important for how we actually function as a human being on every level. So it's extremely cool to understand that delta sleep is where is the most anabolic stage of sleep. The one thing that we would focus on in lifestyle medicine is actually IGF-1 hormone. IGF-1 stands for insulin growth factor. This is the end product of growth hormone. So you have about 95% of your growth hormones produced during delta sleep in this gigantic burst. And with that, what happens is growth hormone floats throughout the body, goes to your liver, gets chopped up into a much smaller molecule called IGF-1. And this is kind of your most anabolic hormone in the body. This is how you build hair, skin, muscle, bone, beauty, everything you can possibly make of. But this is why, if you sleep good, you usually look like you're much younger. And that's something I'm learning of this trick because I'm going to the Middle East. I'm going to Norway. I'm staying up living the Northern Lights. I'm jumping the water with orcas. So my sleep cycle's kind of all over the place. But thankfully, and again, we'll get more into it in the next podcast, there's a couple of different, supplements, a couple of different peptides, and a couple of the ways you can kind of cheat the system, if you will, to kind of ensure that, you're not only getting the full sleep cycle, but you're really getting the delta sleep in a much more effective way. So it's about quality of sleep, not so much quantity of sleep, which again, we'll get into, we'll definitely get into part 2 of this one. But back to delta sleep. So it's extremely important. It's also unique because during the stage is when your brain kind of detoxes itself. The glial cells kind of shrink, which opens the space between the actual neurons, which allows central CSF to kind of sort of the final fluid to flood in and kind of clean the system out. And this is kind of where it's really important to clear different types of, this is extremely important for that. That's why sleep is so important for neuropropagation, neuroregeneration, and the prevention of neurodegradation. Say that 3 times fast. So it's kind of a very unique cycle because the delta wave cycle, which again is very, very long in the spectrum, usually 0.5 to 4 hertz. It's a very slow wave cycle, but it's extremely powerful. As you transition out of delta sleep, you transition to almost what seems, if you look at an EEG, as if you're completely wide awake. This is your REM sleep and your rapid eye movement. This is where you dream. And dream is extremely important to your emotional health. Your dreams kind of process the emotions you feel throughout the day. They'll link into various parts of, how you feel about certain things. And also your mood, extremely important. And also, again, neurotransmitters are get to in part 2 of this, which is what makes you feel certain ways and why. But REM sleep is extremely important. This is also where your body kind of goes through a state of paralysis. This is why if you're fighting a dragon, if you're jumping off of a cliff or you're falling, you're not acting that out of your sleep. So if you ever get woken up during this cycle, it's kind of like you wake up and you can't move. It's actually a defense mechanism of your body to make sure that you are acting out your dreams, which could be extremely dangerous and sort of things, especially if you dream like me, which is kind of crazy. But it's all fun and good. But every cycle of sleep is extremely important. And this is what we see when it comes to people, once you reach 60, as we were talking about before, these cycles get slower and slower, shorter and shorter, to where Usually in a regular sleep cycle, delta sleep dominates the first half of the night, and then REM sleep dominates the second half of the night. So if you're getting to bed late, you're starting to miss more delta. If you're waking up way too early, starting to miss REM. And this is why this can explain whether you're all of a sudden getting chronic infections, your immune system's gone, you don't feel good. Or if you sit there and all of a sudden, those aches and pains, you're not feeling properly, you're usually like in delta sleep. Whereas if you're a cranky person, or you just don't feel good, you're depressed, you have anxiety, or things like that, you aren't getting proper REM sleep. And we're also going to touch on the next part of this, where some substance come in, things like THC, things like alcohol, things like benzodiazepines, Ambien, all this kind of different medications that people, or medications or fun things that people use to kind of help regulate their sleep or kind of turn their brain off, can they can knock you out, but they aren't getting a proper sleep, which in the end is actually really messing everything up. But again, the proper transitions through N1 to N3 to REM throughout the night is probably one of the most important things we do as human beings, because that's what sets up our entire day. Bad sleep propagates bad hormones, bad sleep propagates bad neurotransmitters. So we got to get that turned around and turn that frown all the way upside down. So it's kind of unique how once you start in this industry, whether you're focused on aesthetics, whether you're focused on functional medicine, regenerative medicine, if sleep isn't a major part of your practice, then you're really, short-sighted in patients. And this isn't just so much about giving them certain things to help them fall asleep. It's also sleep hygiene. There's certain ways to really help, stimulate your body to work properly and actually go through the correct motions. The temperature of your room, the feel of your sheets, no electricity in your room, turning things off an hour before. I try to do it an hour and a half, but usually them worse because my brain hardly ever shuts off unless I'm doing it properly. But you definitely got to sit down and set yourself up for the best sleep possible. Everybody's so entrenched in my pre-workout because that's the most important part of my day. That's how I'm gonna build muscle and burn fat. Nonsense. The most important part of how you do all of those things is how you sleep. So I think, you're pre-sleep, your diet before you sleep. But when you even stretch, you do something that's very stress reducing, whether it's reading or yoga or listening to your favorite, type of, classical relaxing music. This is what kind of sets your brain up to have the best sleep potential, the best sleep possibility, going forward with it. So it's one of the things that I do in my practice. We have various, products. One of my favorites is CHC, ipamorelin, ceramorelin, tadalafil, oxytocin. It's a trophy that we've kind of developed back in 2015. That kind of helps the brain transition to the entire sleep cycle. The CHC, ipamorelin, and ceramorelin all help stimulate the pituitary gland in different ways that help produce growth hormone much more efficiently throughout the night. You have oxytocin, which helps induce somebody to get through the alpha stage much better than N1. So it helps you kind of relax more. This is why, usually after more orgasm, people feel nice and relaxed. One of the best feelings in the world, it's because oxytocin helps us kind of calm the system. It's a great, it helps break our anxiety tremendously. Then one of my favorite things, and again, take this for what you will, tadalafil or Cialis is probably one of the most important things I use, especially in men, to help when it comes to nocturnal urination. Women too, this works fantastic across both sexes. It helps decrease the amount of time you have to wake up for that to actually use the restroom. And again, tell everybody stop drinking water about 5 p.m. depending on who you are. If you're older, maybe a little bit earlier. That's why you wouldn't want to front load your water in the morning, because hydration is almost as important as sleep when it comes to natural beauty and natural fun and natural energy. But making sure that you're not waking up every couple hours to use the restroom and really disrupting your sleep cycle is one of the most important things when it comes to wellness, regenerative, aging medicine. So we use this little trophy. There's other things you can use. Testosterone is a great one as well when it comes to the secretagogues. I do GHRP 2 and 6, which might be coming back from what I've heard, maybe hopefully sometime soon. So it's just a situation. There's a lot of different ways to help your brain get into that actual aspect of the correct sleep architecture. One of my favorite peptides, however, is DSIP, delta sleep inducing peptide. I live and breathe this thing. I've been using it now for, I'd say, over 10 years. It's what I've used for all of my neurodegeneration patients. It took off the market back on, so it's all the map. Regardless, it's my favorite possible peptide to use. It just helps you get into delta sleep much more efficiently. Delta sleep, I'd say, is the hardest cycle to get into. So finding anything that you get into is much, much more beneficial than anything else you can possibly do. Supplementation is great. You want to have into magnesium, zinc, ashwagandha, theanine, just kind of depends. That's why diagnostic testing is so important. Looking into the diagnostic testing of how, being able to tell if your patients are, getting proper sleep. Just have the preview for it. The 3 hormones that I've used to kind of check to make sure that my patients are getting great sleep is IGF-1, cortisol, and DHEA. These three hormones are great images to sit there and see. If your patient has low levels of all of them, if they wake up stressed out, if cortisol's high, if DHEA is off, then it's most likely that they're getting stressed to sleep. IGF-1, like I said, the growth hormone spike around the night. If you don't have that correct spike for the night, the growth hormone starts to diminish. You go into what's called menopause, which is a whole other lecture. But menopause is basically the decrease in IGF-1 over a lifetime. That usually starts in the 30s for some people, 40s for the more healthy people. But this is why people usually tend to, not heal as fast. Their body compositions, they can't build muscles, they can't burn fat. So these hormones, which again, like I say, diagnostic testing is everything. That's why it's so important to sit there and understand how you can actually diagnostic test to figure out if the patient is actually getting correct sleep, which is the most important part of anything. And I'll say 1,000 more times. So that's where I utilize diagnostic testing to kind of understand how my patients are actually sleeping. Even if they're sitting there failing to get in sleep, I can tell you immediately if they are not. So that's just something to definitely kind of, wanted to kind of home on this whole podcast. Also, there's, sleep apnea. Sleep apnea is something that, it's a billion-person problem. There's so many people who are overweight right now, there's that issues. So when they aren't getting proper sleep because of various issues, whether it's anatomical, you're overweight, or whatever it could be. So sleep conduction studies are one of the most important things, I think. As a physician, you should be able to diagnose and recognize if someone has that. And then getting that treated is more important than anything you could ever give them. So that's extremely, extremely pivotal when it comes to being an actual a wellness physician or regenerative physician, whatever you want to call this industry. Understanding sleep and not actually manipulate it for the better, but also understanding what manipulates it for the worse and kind of pitching that are some of the most important things as a practitioner. I don't care what industry you're in, to really help benefit your patients. So this is part one. We're going to have part two, but I wanted to make sure we had an international podcast going on here in Norway. Unfortunately, just where the lighting is, I didn't bring my one light, so we couldn't show you the beautiful mountains that are way behind you. And it's a beautiful place that I had rented. But it is a fantastic place. But you really understand how important sleep is when you start to not have proper sleep. So just make sure that, when you as a physician or as a patient, if you're watching this, that you really try to perfect your sleep. Because once you start to perfect your sleep, you perfect everything in life. And that's from sex and energy to, neuro generations, everything under the sun revolves around sleep. So I hope you enjoyed it. It's just part one. We're going to start doing more of these part series to kind of give you much more informative and direct. But I thought I'd start out with this one with sleep being the most important thing that we do. So hope you guys enjoy. Remember, this is a lifestyle medicine podcast. You can catch us on Spotify, Apple, pretty much anywhere podcasts are found. So give us a like, check out Access Medical Labs, my favorite lab company. I've gone through all of them. I promise you, and Access is my favorite thus far. They're great, and they basically offer everything you need to be the most effective and, I would say, fun physician out there. So again, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Come get you from Norway. I'm Dr. Ivan Silk, the Lifestyle Medicine Podcast. Get your sleep and get it proper.
Thanks for joining us today on the Lifestyle Medicine Podcast. At Access Labs, every innovation we pursue is driven by one bold purpose: making personalized medicine more practical and accessible for patients and providers. If this episode sparked new ideas or challenged how you think about patient care, awesome. Follow the show and share it with a colleague who's ready to level up their practice. Head over to our website at accesslabs.com and register your practitioner account today. You'll get access to over 1,000 routine and advanced biomarkers with 24-hour results. When signing up, select Lifestyle Medicine Podcast as how you heard about us and score 10% off your first invoice. Oh, and don't forget, drop us a review. It helps more practitioners like you find us. We'll see you next time.